Hi, I'm Landy Kishuk with ICEV, and thank you for joining us for the Aligning Secondary Concepts with Post-Secondary Opportunities. This is a dual credit opportunity session, and we are excited to have Dr. Brian Parr and Mr. David Black from Murray State University. They are the presenters today. They're going to talk about the Racer Academy at Murray State. And thank you both for joining us today.
You're welcome.
Certainly. Thanks for having us today, Landy. So as Landy mentioned, I'm Brian Parr. I'm the Assistant Dean of the Hudson School of Agriculture here at Murray State University. And my experience with ICEV actually goes way back several years to before the I joined the ICEV to just CEV. And I remember as a student that was about to graduate and go out into the high school agriculture classroom, a professor of mine handed me a CEV catalog and said, here, you're going to need this. And it was absolutely right. And primarily teaching animal science at the time. And so this company, these products have made my life easier for a lot of years. But about 10 years ago, as a matter of fact, maybe 11 years ago now, we entered into what we call the Racer Academy of Agriculture here at Murray State University. And it started out fairly small with just a few schools in a pilot program where we took some of our classes, our entry level 100 level classes, and we really adapted them to be delivered via web and to be delivered to current high school students that qualified to be able to be dual enrolled at Murray State as well as in their high school agriculture classes. And so this started in 2010 and it grew. We started out with just a couple of classes, and then we grew into a lot of classes. And for one reason or another, we've been almost forced to back off now because we were offering so many classes. But it was because the model worked so well, and the model worked so well because of the collaboration and really the cooperation that we had with our secondary partners. And so we were able to take these entry-level agriculture classes, adapt them to be able to be delivered via virtual format, and that's where our partnership with ICEV came into play. We would never been able to take those classes and develop it into that format with such ease as what we did by being able to take advantage of the curriculum materials that were already available there through ICEV. And what that allowed us to do is to set up a very sustainable model. There's a lot of models of dual enrollment I know across the country, and a lot of those, frankly, are not very sustainable. When we have to send professors to a local high school to teach an entry-level class in face-to-face or even via web for that matter, it's just really not sustainable. The fee structure, everything that we have about the university is not set up to allow that to happen very easily. But what we were able to do with the ICEV model is to allow those teachers, those high school teachers, to become adjunct professors for Murray State University. And that little piece of this puzzle was really the key to making this all work. Of course, we had to have the materials there so that these people didn't have to develop these materials on their own, and so that they were standard materials across this class. And so we maintained that, and I'm going to introduce you to Mr. Black in just a minute, and he still maintains that continuity within this program. But as this began to grow, it became very, very popular with our secondary teachers, and still yet as of today. We grew across the whole state, and then we actually grew across state lines. And once again, that was another time where we grew so big that there were some resistance to that above our pay grade that says, look, you have to rein this back in just a little bit. And so we did come back inside of state lines a couple of years ago. But it's wildly popular because the high school teacher had the responsibility of recruiting the students in the program, getting them enrolled into these college classes, but then the curriculum materials were provided for those teachers. And so it was really a win-win situation. So there was a lot of ready-made curriculum materials that the teachers were able to deliver to these students. And so they had that already prepared for them before they enrolled them in this class. Their students were able to get dual credit through Murray State University that they can bring here and study with us, or frankly, they can take it any place that they want to. And that was another benefit to the dual credit system is it's real college credit. When they finish a class with us through these ICEV materials and through the Racer Academy of Agriculture, then that credit goes on to a real college transcript and they can take it really any place that they want to. We hope that they'll bring it to Murray State and finish their degree with us, but honestly, if they take it someplace else and it benefits them, then we're all for that also. But as I said, this is made possible through these materials that were available with the very high quality videos and the other presentations that were there and the assessment tools already available through ICV, that we were able to make this uniform across the board for our participants. And I know I'm gonna let Dr. Black talk about this in just a minute about the people that he constantly has contacting him about wanting to be a part of what we do here in dual credit. And so, and once again, Mr. Black is a former high school teacher in the state of Kentucky, and that doesn't hurt anything either. As a matter of fact, that's a great selling point. He identifies with the teachers of our state. He's able to talk with them about the struggles that they have in their classrooms and their situations, and really to be able to navigate what they do. Spends a lot of time on the road. We couldn't do this without David. So I'll let you, David, just go ahead and introduce yourself and take it away.
All right, then. So like he said, I have been a ag teacher, retired, 10 years ago now. I taught 30 years in the classroom and decided to hang up my hat, and then was contacted by school to do some fill-in. I did for half a year, and then Murray State contacted me and asked me if I would be interested in this position. And I thought, what the heck, do another job for a couple of years. And that was 10 years ago. And I love my job because I think being able to interact with ag teachers throughout the state of Kentucky, and I normally visit at least 100 schools a year, and that's a lot of mileage on my truck, but I get to see Kentucky in a way that nobody else gets to see it. And I get to interact with teachers and guidance counselors, administrators, and most importantly, I get to interact with students. And so that's really important, I think, for Murray State, because we are in West Kentucky and most of the other universities are in Central and Eastern Kentucky. And so a lot of times I will just start off by asking students, where is Murray State? And unless I'm in West Kentucky, a lot of times I get all kinds of answers. But we do a little geography session with them and show them where Murray State is, and get to show them our highway system in Kentucky and how they can get on a 4-lane highway and come to our front door. And that's always awesome to be able to show them that we are very accessible, and then get to talk about the Hudson School of Ag. And so with Racer Academy of Ag, we have a Racer Academy program at Murray State, which is dual credit. And then we have the Racer Academy of Ag program, which is strictly ag classes. And the first thing that I do is I work with the schools to try to get teachers credentialed so they can actually offer the classes as a credentialed adjunct professor. And we follow national guidelines on that. And right now, I was just looking this morning, and we have 178 credentialed ag teachers in the state of Kentucky. And that is awesome when you start thinking about it. We are in over 110 high schools in the state of Kentucky as well. And I was just looking at the paperwork. I've got 5 more schools wanting to come on board, and we're trying to get the paperwork pushed through as quickly as possible because schools are out. State conventions next week, and we'll be back in session before we know it. So trying to get the paperwork pushed through for these teachers. For our teachers, they have to have a minimum of 18 hours, either be enrolled or completed up to 18 hours of graduate hours. Most teachers, that's not a problem in Kentucky. Most of them go directly into their master's program. So that happens pretty quick. Then we start looking at student requirements. So we get the teachers credentialed, and then we start looking at student requirements. And we only allow juniors and seniors in high school to enroll in these dual credit courses. Part of that is maturity. And then secondly is there's only so many courses in ag they can take. If they start as a sophomore, they're going to run out their junior year. So we'd like to wait to make sure they're mature enough and then start their junior, senior year. We do have 5 courses right now that we offer. Most students will take 1 per semester their junior year, and then somewhere in their senior year, they'll come back and take 2 in 1 semester for ag courses. And that way they get at least 15 hours of ag credit. We also require students to have a 3.0 GPA. And for most students, that's not a problem anymore. If they're planning on going to college, most of them have above a 3.0. We have occasionally have a student that has a 2.98, but if they rank in the upper 1/2 of their graduating class, they can still take the course. That doesn't affect very many because, again, GPAs are higher these days than they used to be. And so that's our only 2 main requirements when it comes to students. And then we do have some paperwork for them to complete. We have 3 things they have to do. 1, they have to get in our system. And the way they do that is complete an online admissions. And that is a Racer Academy online admissions. Very simple to do. Normally it takes them about 5 minutes if they have all their information in front of them. And then we require the student and the guidance counselor to complete a guidance counselor permission form. Again, very simple. What class are you going to take this semester? Make sure the ag teacher approves it. Make sure the guidance counselor also approves it. And then have the student sign off saying, yes, I want to take this course. That just avoids teachers from enrolling students that they don't know about, that the student never knew they were going to be in the class in the first place. And then we require the school to send us their transcripts as proof of their GPA. Not a hard process. We normally require this. For example, we require online admissions to be done by June 1st for all new students. Then we require all the rest of the paperwork by August 1st. And right now, most schools have already sent in all that stuff. After we get the paperwork, it's just a matter of activating a class online. It's not true online course, but it is to a student, to a teacher, they consider it online. So that's our dual credit program. And we've been able to work with ICEV on 3 of our 5 courses. So when we talk about what classes are our most popular courses, I think in most states it's the same way. Animals are our common denominator. AGR 100 is our basically intro to animal science. And that normally will make up half of our students in the fall semester. So we'll have somewhere between 500 to 800 students. Normally 250 to 350 of those are going to be animal science. And that basically covers our 5 major species. And we went ahead and took it 1 step further. We not only make it animal science, we also made it industry cert aligned with the help of ICEV. So at the end of this course, the students have covered everything that is necessary to take the industry cert test. And that's very important in the state of Kentucky and probably in all the states that these students get industry certified. And so when we did that, it kind of caught the attentions of a lot of administrators because they get extra points in the state of Kentucky if they take the industry cert test and pass it. And so that's great for the state scorecard. And then we have the bookend to AGR 100 is our pre-vet, intro to pre-vet. And I try to explain it like this. AGR 182, Intro to Pre-Vet, is animal science on steroids. So you've got this course that gets you introduced to animal science. And we have a lot of students that say they want to be a pre-vet major. You know, I get that everywhere I go. I'm going to be a pre-vet major. And we know very few students are going to carry that out, because once they get into the pre-vet program, they find out that's a really difficult road to travel. And so we try to introduce them to AGR 182 pre-vet and let them see and use that as a bookend to 100. You know, on 100 now can you step up to the next level? Most students are very successful, but many times they see really quick that, you know what, I love animal science. I don't love pre-vet enough to go that route, but I want to be an animal science major. And so that class is also industry certified aligned. So there's another extra credit that school can receive when that student completes the course. They have the opportunity to take that test. And then that's our animal science pathway. And then we have a plant science pathway. And our first one is AGR 140. And that is our plant science. It's a very complete plant science aligned with ICEV, also industry cert aligned. We also have end of program tests in the state of Kentucky. And my horticulture teachers tell me over and over again that AGR 100 and 182 and 140 helps their students pass the end of program test. And so we're happy to help in that. I think that 140 is a complete plant science course. And we have quite a few students that take that. And then we have a course that was our first course. And actually, we have the other part of the bookend of plant science, which is AGR 160, which is horticultural science. We developed that course to help students that are trying to teach greenhouse in the spring. And if you've ever been an ag teacher and you have a greenhouse, you know spring is run to the greenhouse every chance you get to get plants started, to water plants, whatever you have to do. So if they want to teach horticultural science, it's developed to have time to run to the greenhouse, to sell plants, to raise plants. So that's a really good course for those teachers that's trying to run the greenhouse. Then our final class, which is my favorite course, is called AGR 199, and it's Contemporary Issues in Ag. It's our first course that we developed in dual credit. I still believe it's our best course. It is writing intensive. It has 4 research papers, but it is a course that is required. If they go to college, they're going to have to take some type of contemporary issues. If they can complete contemporary issues in ag in high school, then that will fit no matter what their major is in college. It will plug into that requirement of contemporary issues. I have students and teachers tell me they love that course. It can be challenging. A lot of students have not written a lot of research papers, and these are checked, for plagiarism. So we have students that get caught and get reprimanded. We have to have those moments for them to understand that, you can't copy and paste, and you can't use someone else's paper. It has to be original, but it's a good learning experience. And we do have quite a few students that take that course. And like I said, I really enjoy 199, and I'm always looking for the opportunity to work with students in 199 to help prepare them for college. It's one of those things that I don't think we're ever ready for college. Students aren't, but taking dual credit gets them one step closer. They're taking these are not watered down courses. And I explain that to teachers all the time, to guidance counselors, to administrators. You get that mindset if you're not careful, especially with an elective like ag, that how can that be college level? We understand English college level. We even understand math college level, but many times administrators just don't understand an elective being college level. And normally what I do, I just walk in with the binder, everything printed out for them, and have a meeting with the administrators and guidance counselors and ag teachers and say, here you go. Here's AGR 100, everything that's in it. And once they see that course, it sells itself. It's very, very easy to sell. And like I said, for the last 2 years, especially the last year, it has been a very challenging time for dual credit, because dual credit's one thing to be offered in the school. Dual credit's completely different when it's offered virtual. We found that out with college classes. Students taking virtual college classes, that's not a good thing. It's not what it was developed for. It was very challenging for a lot of those students. High school students was even more challenging because that ag teacher wasn't there every day to say, how much have you gotten done? So what can I answer as far as questions at this point, Landy?
Yeah, and that was right on time. So we've reached our 20 minutes of discussion, but that leads us right into the live Q&A. So thank you both, Mr. Black, Dr. Parr, for joining us and attending and giving us that great information. And for all the participants, you can join the live Q&A following the link below. And I hope we continue this conversation. But thank you both so much.
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.